Hi everybody and welcome to the Maria Goretti Corner. Well, today is my day to bake and I'm in the mood to create something that's decadent, luxurious and totally sexy. So, I am going to bake for you the queen of all cakes, the grand red velvet. And don't look so worried because it's really very simple. Okay, and now we're ready to make our red velvet brownie cheesecake. Sounds decadent, doesn't it? Well, it is. Well, this is my mixie. You can also use a hand mixie, but the reason I use this is that this kind of holds the blender and I'm hands-free and I can create magical stuff with it. Well, down to our recipe. Now we put in half a cup of melted butter. And to it we add our castor sugar. You do not ever have to overblend cake, never. You just do it right. Now to this we will add the cocoa powder. Give it a little whir. Always remember when you're blending a lot of ingredients together, do not be in a hurry. Baking is all about patience. So you have to blend each ingredient very well into this mix, otherwise it's not going to be like you imagine it to be. Basically then it won't become like how amazingly I make it. So the cocoa has now blended really well. To the cocoa we add fresh beetroot. Because I think when you add fruit or you add vegetable to anything, it only gets better. And there's a lovely texture that this brownie will have. It needs very little stirring. Okay, the beetroot is nicely done. To this we're going to add our eggs. Always add just one egg at a time and always remember never to add your eggs just straight into the mixture. Always kind of mix, beat the egg up a bit before you add it to your cake mixture. And it goes on again. Let it get fully incorporated before you add the second egg into it. This is done. Now, before you add your second egg, you must add your vanilla into the bowl that you're going to be beating the egg up. So it's now, we have to now put our second egg, which is already mixed with the vanilla. Now the thing is this, that you do not actually need any fancy gadgets to bake. So this is a whisk. You get this in various sizes. Sometimes all you need is a whisk and a really strong arm. So if you have a strong arm, you can just do this exact thing with something as simple as this. This is fabulous. Now to this, don't forget a tiny pinch of salt. You know, it's very funny, but every time I'm baking, all baking recipes ask you to add a pinch of salt and most cooking recipes ask you to add a pinch of sugar. I mean, what's up with that? But anyway, it works. To this, you will now add the flour. Just remember, never ever overmix the flour while you're doing a cake. When you're doing a brownie, it anyway does not rise, so it's kind of fine. We add to this chocolate. I think nothing in life is complete without some chocolate. You can add any chocolate you feel like. If you don't have cooking chocolate, please use any chocolate that you have at home. Just see that it is just plain chocolate, does not have caramel or anything like that. That's about it. And to this we add 2 teaspoons of red food coloring. Now what makes the red actually pop is white wine vinegar. We need to add a teaspoon of it. This is it. This is our brownie batter. Just give it a good stir. You can see the color all really coming to it. It looks beautiful along with the beetroot. So the brownie bit is now absolutely ready. We have a prepared tin. We're going to pour it into the prepared tin and then get ready to make the cheesecake part of this decadent recipe. And now for the cream cheese part of this cake. Well, you need 226 grams of cream cheese that has been softened and is really, beautiful and molten and pliable, just like Indian men like their women. But you know what happens when you heat cream cheese? Destruction. Now what you need is egg, you need vanilla and you need 1/4 cup sugar. First, the vanilla as always mixes with the egg. Do not forget whisk the egg along with the vanilla and add it to the cream cheese. And now you have to just whisk this in. So like I said guys, you do not need fancy equipment. Okay? See, check my arms out. They're so good. Just because of all this whisking. Now you have to add 1/4 cup of sugar. Do the same thing again, of course, without chucking anything out. You must always taste what you make. Okay? Always. Yum! I didn't need to taste it, but I just wanted to. So this is it. We are ready with all that we need for our red velvet brownie cheesecake. So basically this recipe is really simple. It just looks really difficult, but if you break it down, it's really simple. You first prepare your brownie batter, you leave it aside. Then you do your cheesecake batter, you leave it aside. And then the difficult bit is you put the brownie batter, you pour over that your cheesecake batter, and then you bake it at the right amount of heat. Exactly like how you should know how to handle women. So now in a prepared tin, by prepared tin I mean it needs to have butter paper or a silicone paper. I like using silicone paper because I think because I like it actually. I just like it. So you pour the brownie batter into this. Not all of it though. You just leave a bit behind, which you will need to pour over the cheese batter to make some kind of pretty designs. So I've kept about a tablespoon of it behind here, as you can see, and this is for later. Now over this, be very careful because sometimes it just kind of folds into it. So now you take your cream cheese and pour it ever so gently over your red velvet batter. Lovely. It kind of goes off on its own, so you don't have to worry too much. But just see that the ends are, it goes till the ends. This is done, and now for the little end of it. So all you do is take some of the batter that you had saved and put it over over the cheese batter, the cream cheese batter. And then take a fork and just have fun. And now this is ready to go into a preheated oven at 175 degrees for just 30 minutes. So boys, I hope you're still taking notes. Now I'm sure that this red velvet that is baking in my oven here reminds you of a really fussy, complicated, high maintenance woman. When in fact, it's really wholesome, filled with the goodness of beetroot, and is so beautiful that you could take it home to your mom. So basically, when you're baking, every recipe that looks really complicated is not as complicated as you think it is. When it comes to women though, we are all complicated. We were just messing with you. Each one of us is complicated, and that's how it's going to stay. So here it is, my really easy red velvet chocolate brownie cheesecake filled with the goodness of fresh beetroot and a whole lot of love. So if you like what you see, comment, like, share and subscribe, and keep coming back to the Goretti corner because this is where most of the yumminess happens.